NASA's twin Voyager probes launched in 1977 stunned the entire world with their historic journeys to Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Both missions are still in interstellar space 45 years later, in order to solve riddles within and beyond our solar system, some of which are more recent than the expedition. Researchers are currently utilizing the Voyager data in a number of ways. The twin Voyager spacecraft from NASA features an 8-track tape recorder for recording data, in addition to having around 38,000 times less memory than contemporary cell phones, and delivering data at a rate that is about 3 million times slower than a 5G internet connection. These spacecraft have been preserved as historical artifacts. The Voyagers still lead space exploration in spite of this. While the twin Voyager 1 and 2 probes are exploring, no other spacecraft from Earth has ever traveled to this extent. In August 2012, Voyager 1 made history by traveling into interstellar space for the first time. This is a region between stars that is teeming with junk that was ejected when nearby stars died millions of years ago. Both spacecraft are still transmitting scientific data about their surroundings via the Deep Space Network, or DSN. Join us as we examine the incredible Voyager spacecraft's journey and the enigmatic messages it continues to relay to Earth from a great distance. When the Voyager is so far away, how does it communicate with us? Whom has it communicated with? Is it warning us of anything that might be harmful? You will get to know this and plenty more as we dive into the details of today's show. However, before getting started with the video, officially, here's a quick reminder that you can subscribe for free and like the video so that we can boost the algorithm. Comments are most welcomed. In many ways, the Voyager twins are artifacts from their time. Each of them has an 8-track tape recorder for data storage, 3 million times less memory than modern cell phones, and a data transmission rate that is roughly 40,000 times slower than a 5G internet connection. They are the owners of the Golden Record, which features greetings in 55 different languages, pictures of people and places on Earth, and music ranging from Beethoven to Chuck Berry's Johnny B. Good. Although none of the missions have received much attention recently, project scientist Ed Stone has been in charge of tracking the tiny spacecraft's ongoing outbound journeys. Although having outmoded memory and communication capabilities, the Voyagers remain at the forefront of space exploration, being the only spacecraft to have ever traveled into interstellar space. Let's examine some of the two spacecraft's key components. In August 1977, a crucial step was taken to accelerate space exploration, led by NASA, which believed that space exploration needed to be given more attention. 8 years after Neil Armstrong's first step on the moon, NASA realized they needed to elaborate on this. NASA believed that by putting the Voyagers into orbit, they were helping the US and getting a glimpse of what life in space is like. The launch of Voyager 1 and 2 into orbit opened up a fantastic path for the research and study of our nearby planets, which were just waiting to be located and discovered. The twin Voyager spacecraft captured the public's interest in the 1970s and 1980s as Earth's first ambassadors to the outer planets by taking up-close images of Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. The first spacecraft to enter orbit was Voyager 2 on August 17, 1977, and Voyager 1 followed on September 5th. Going on to the present, the Voyagers have accomplished a remarkable feat thus far, and even after 46 years, they are still running strong with different predicted trajectories. Voyager 1 was designed to capture images of Saturn's rings and its largest moon, Titan. Later, Voyager 2 was launched with an even more ambitious mission. It was put into orbit in order to monitor both the environment on Earth and the nearby planets. The irony of the Voyager mission is that despite being put into orbit for about a 5-year period when it was launched, it has now been 46 years and is still going strong. Making a system that outlives its useful life is not easy. The Voyager is not your PlayStation where you keep it clean and it works flawlessly. The researchers who worked on it deserve praise for their accomplishments. It's possible that the technology on board Voyager 1 is the first to be able to distinguish between the magnetic field of the Sun and the area between the stars known as interstellar space. Moving on, let's talk about the interplanetary mission, which has to do with extraterrestrial space. NASA's exploration effort will be expanded to include space itself, not just the outer planets of the solar system, as part of Voyager's interstellar mission. This is due to the fact that its efforts are made to find it. Its significance cannot be fully described due to the solar wind's penetration of the heliopause border between it and the interstellar medium. Precise observations will be feasible. It is important to highlight that the interstellar mission extends the Voyager mission, which was completed in 1989 when it traveled close to Neptune. Neptune was the final outer planet that the Voyager spacecraft visited. Voyager 1, which is leaving our solar system at a rate of 3.6 astronomical units per year, is currently heading 35 degrees north of the ecliptic plane in the general direction of the solar apex, while Voyager 2 is flying near Neptune and Uranus. The Sun's peak is placed in the direction of the Sun's motion with respect to its neighborhood stars. Voyager 2 is departing the solar system at a rate of roughly 3.3 astronomical units per year, on the other hand. The mystery. When something is so far away, and Voyager 1 is in uncharted territory in space, anything might go wrong. Moreover, keep in mind that these are vintage vessels, so NASA engineers could have been forgiven for calling it a day and toasting what may have been the greatest successful space mission of all time, when Voyager 1 began to send home bizarre garbled nonsense in place of telemetry data. Nevertheless, NASA doesn't operate that way. Instead, they began working on the record-breaking spacecraft's remote diagnosis and repair, and they were successful. Victory has been restored after some time. With a 22-hour communications lag in either direction or billions of miles of space between, Voyager 1 is back up and speaking seamlessly with the ground control, which is easy as anything can be. Then what exactly happened to Voyager 1? The 46-year-old spacecraft that was traveling across interstellar space appeared to be operating incredibly well. Finally, NASA engineers identified the problem, and after making a diagnostic, they may now apply the solution. The issue was solved when it was found that the AACS had started transmitting telemetry data using an onboard computer that was no longer functional. The deceased machine contaminated all of the data that was transmitted. All NASA engineers had to do was tell the AACS to use the proper computer to convey its data home. But there's still a problem, because the next step is to identify the precise reason the AACS switched machines in the first place. The system likely received an incorrect command from another onboard computer, according to NASA. To deter additional craziness, the real offender must be identified and dealt with, even though they insisted that there is now no pressing fear for Voyager 1's safety. Voyager 1 is presently 23.4 billion kilometers or 14.6 billion miles from Earth, and is getting farther away. During the past 10 years, Voyager 1 has spent the majority of its time outside of our solar system's magnetic field, moving into interstellar space. The magnetic field had given the craft some insulation from cosmic rays and other interstellar radiation, much like how Earth's magnetic field shields us from high-energy particles and radiation from the Sun. It is plausible to anticipate that the onboard computers of Voyager 1 will encounter issues comparable to those experienced by Earth-based electronics when subjected to cosmic ray interference. For instance, when one of those fast energetic particles hits the computer chip, it may cause a series of little memory mistakes that build up over time. Voyager 2. On the other hand, there is a connection between Voyager 2 and extraterrestrials. How much of it is true and how much actually happened? For background, keep in mind that Voyager 2 is extremely far from Earth, and that it takes a command transmitted from the planet 13 hours to reach this probe. Yet, communication isn't always as clear-cut as it may be. Not until the end of 2021 did it become clear that the Explorer might have run into an unusual glitch. The conspiracy theory that surfaced in response to this issue quickly became a hot rumor, with claims that aliens may have been able to track down the Voyager 2 probe and reprogram it to obstruct connection with Earth. The glitch may have just been written off as rubbish, but a German expert claims that alien interference is the only explanation for it. The UK's The Telegraph also stepped out to elaborate on rumors, taking the word of a UFO expert without comparing it to the trustworthy information from an expert in space. This was done solely to increase views and copy sales. It is still far from clear whether a UFO or aliens were engaged in this operation, and the most likely explanation is that the Voyager's programming malfunctioned. The alien notion, however, is debatable and might be brought up for a very long period. Why? As it includes curiosity and a long sought-after answer. People have been interested in it. It goes beyond just speculating. If there are aliens, they wouldn't merely mess with a machine that is floating on their territory, would they? Or maybe it's a warning for us to stay away from them. Whatever it is, it significantly defies reason, and we would rather not knock on a door that leads to a brick wall. The Voyager mission should continue with all of its might, since it is what will advance us in this field, and that should be our major objective. This is a great source for speculation, but it should be regarded with caution, since they could be too terrified to confront us later. the aliens could be sending signals to keep us at a distance. What do you think of this logic? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up. It will help us understand our audience and allows YouTube to suggest similar videos to you. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you at the next one.